Before we address our honorees this evening, I want to take this opportunity to recognize and acknowledge another very, very important group of individuals. A group, in fact, that without their love and dedication for the Jewish people, none of us would be here this evening, and that is our community's incredible Jewish educators and school administrators. Dallas is blessed with more than 500 Jewish congregational religious school, day school, and early childhood educators, youth group leaders, and advisors, and adult educators. These individuals are, in our estimation, the most pivotal and critical members of our Jewish community. For without their Mesirat Nefesh, their selfless devotion to our children, we would have no other future, no Jewish future to anticipate. In the room tonight are more than 200 of our community's finest and brightest. I would like to ask them all to please rise at this time and remain standing so that we can formally acknowledge them for the amazing service that they provide our community. Please stand. Many of them are wearing these shirts. You'll see these shirts tonight. Look around the room. Please look around the room and see who's staring. Hold your shirts up, guys. Please hold your shirts up. I'd like you all to look and notice each one of these. And please take a moment tonight before you leave this evening and personally thank these people for their service. It's past time. Thank you. And now, let us celebrate Jewish education. Each year, I get the nachas by asking everyone to take a moment and look to your left and look to your right. Go ahead. Look all around the room. And you'll notice people in the room with colorful knitted kippot, black velvet kippot, and no kippot at all. Some of them are women. That's maybe why they're not wearing kippot. But tonight, we're all Jews. We're not Reform. We're not conservative. We're not Orthodox. We're just Jews. We're all here to embrace our common Torah value of lilmod ulilamed, to learn and to teach. We're each commanded to do both. And the CJE is proud to create and promote opportunities where all members of our community can come together to support this effort. And no one better exemplifies this value than our honorees, Helen and Frank Risch. Please direct your attention to the screen, and you'll begin to understand just a bit of what I mean. As I alluded to in the video, there is one sin in the Torah for which there cannot be receiving atonement, and that's Hilul Hashem, desecration of God's name. In a word, acting in a way publicly that would bring disgrace to God by being recognized as one of his people, as a Jew. On the other hand, the opposite concept of Kiddush Hashem, or sanctifying God by publicly displaying these characteristics of the Jewish people that would bring great glory and honor to God. If you turn to page 1176 in the latest edition of Encyclopedia Judaica, and you look up the definition of Kiddush Hashem, there you'll find a picture of Helen and Frank Risch. Anyone in Dallas who knows these two names hold their heads high with pride, because aside from the incredible work that they do with our community, such as with the Anti-Defamation League, Temple Emmanuel, Dallas Jewish Community Foundation, Levine Academy, and more, their leadership with organizations such as the Dallas Holocaust Museum, Dallas CASA, the Performing Arts Center, and Communities Foundation of Texas make it clear with what high regard and esteem that they are held in the broader Dallas community and beyond. They are truly a Kiddush Hashem. Helen and Frank, would you please join me on the stage? Sure we have the right people. You know, it's always a challenge when we honor such deserving folks as yourselves. And how do we show our appreciation for all that you do in support of the CJE and Jewish education in general? Since Helen's great passion within education is early childhood, we consulted with the directors of the Early Childhood Council here, the programs in Dallas, as well as some of the teachers and others, and we decided that with some of the funds that we raised this evening, we would do something very special in your honor. Helen and Frank, I would like to present you with this plaque which reads, "In deep appreciation and affection for all of your efforts to advance and advocate on behalf of the Jewish education in Dallas, the Center for Jewish Education of the Jewish Federation of Greater Dallas, humbly establishes the Helen and Frank Risch Early Childhood What If Grants to support innovation in Jewish preschool classrooms, presented at a night to celebrate Jewish education, March 9th, 2015.
I've got to say, I just told Meyer I don't cry easily. But this is absolutely incredible. You can imagine how honored Helen and I feel about this whole evening, receiving this kind of recognition. But I think most of you, many of you that know us, know very well that in so many ways this award ought to be Helen's alone. Don't you agree? But I guess every main event needs an opening act, and you got me. First, Rabbi Lau. We are so honored, so deeply honored to be in your presence. All of us who have read your amazing book, Out of the Depths, know of the incredible story and know how that represents just a legacy of Judaism that's unparalleled in our times. And in 2 days here in Dallas, just 2 days, you have become what here is called a rock star. Thank you so much for being here. There's no one that could be more eloquent on the subject of the critical importance of Jewish education and its role in assuring the future of our Jewish people. We're so grateful that you came all the way from Tel Aviv to be here for us and to support Jewish education here in Dallas this way. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now look, we all know that the tradition of Jewish education goes back a long, long way in our history. Rabbi Tokayer spoke of it so eloquently. But one of the fundamental precepts of our faith, fundamental precept, as Jews, parent and community both, is to provide for the instruction of our children. For my parents, persecuted by the Nazis for being Jewish, a Jewish education was an essential. Really, for them it was an expression of freedom which they found in this country after they arrived here in 1938. So for both of us, this idea, this gift of Jewish education being right at our very core was given to us by our parents. And we tried so hard to share it with our children, and we are unbelievably proud that they're now carrying on this heritage with their children. It's absolutely a miracle, and we think of it as a miracle every day. But that's the way it's supposed to be. And that's why we're all of us here tonight, to celebrate this special night. Now, many of you know firsthand why I say that this recognition belongs to Helen. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about her devotion and her commitment to education. You can read the program. But I will say this. In Helen, there's two sources of energy that converge. First, her years of training and experience as a school psychologist, working with kids often with severe learning problems. And second, and equally, her commitment to Jewish education. The best birthday present that I ever gave her was the establishment of the Helen Risch Jewish Preschool Scholarship Fund at our Jewish Community Foundation. So Helen and a small committee review applications from all the preschools in town for scholarship assistance for children whose parents have applied for admission but just can't afford the tuition. Helen's strongly held belief is that you bring these kids into Jewish preschool, you're going to hook not only the kids, but you're going to get the young parents too. And what amazing pleasure she takes when she hears about all these families, they're all anonymous to her, that are finding their sense of connectedness with our Jewish faith. And that's what she's all about. Helen?
I should have gone first. He's a hard act to follow. Thank you, everyone, for this incredible, I don't know if you can hear me, this incredible honor. We were amazed when Meyer asked us, and I thank you, Meyer, not only for asking, but for all the work that you have put into it. He has so much attention to detail, and he's just amazing and wonderful to work with. And he has certainly helped our Center of Jewish Education grow a great deal. And when I look around this room, there are so many people who have given so much to these education programs that we accept this with great humility. But to give this speech, I have to go back as far as my grandparents and parents, who had the courage to leave the pogroms of Poland and Russia. It was they who told me their stories, sang the songs, told me about their love of Judaism and the pride of being Jewish. Of course, growing up in a small town with 70 Jewish families, you knew exactly who you were, as they did. Everyone there knew who you were and that you were Jewish. Our community always had a full-time rabbi who provided Sunday school and 2-day-a-week Hebrew school, which you know is not much of a start. But since everyone knew who you were, they were also sure to let you know, not always in a complimentary way, what they thought of my religion. They also knew that Helen had a good punch. Over the years, going from city to city and country to country, we learned the richness of Judaism and how people lived, living in England and living in Greece, and how in Greece it was difficult to survive the Holocaust. Traveling with Rabbi Tokayer, he gave us amazing insights in India, Southeast Asia, China, and Japan, and just being with him, there are many, many insights. Thank you. But all of this just made me prouder of being and knowing ourselves as Jews. And then watching my grandchildren has been incredible as we see what they do. Maddie, sitting next to you, hearing you sing at the services, it's just wonderful in your beautiful voice. Watching Jeremy head up parts of service at his brothers, Aaron and Eli's bar mitzvah. It's great, Jeremy. Rebecca and Jake, at the age of 9.5, preparing and conducting a Shabbat service after a day of king. They made sure that every prayer was in it, going from the Kiddush to the Kaddish to a Devat Torah. They were amazing. It was special, for this was their grandmother Mimi's birthday, and she had passed away just in the past summer. Yes, the tears flowed, and this was a wonderful woman who we all miss. Eli, who just left for Israel today with his class, who incessantly questions me about the importance of Jewish education. I had to come up with all the right answers. And Aaron, who asked me to chant from the Torah and share his bar mitzvah, was really an incredible honor. Thank you. It is these children who have really made me appreciate so much also of being a Jew. Missing part. Jonathan, Jolene, and Alicia, who as parents show such incredible leadership as parents and as people involved in the community. They make us so proud. And Frank, who may talk about me and the importance of Jewish education, but who sets an example by everything he does, both in the Jewish and non-Jewish community. He knows that we have to participate in all of it, so our children feel comfortable here and really understand that we're part not only of a Jewish community, but of a whole community. And I want to thank the community of Dallas, who opened us with arms and hearts. Having lived in many places, we have rarely seen a community where everyone worked together to support each other. And thank you for letting us be part of it.
Before I continue the program, I'd be remiss if I didn't point out and acknowledge my incredible team at the CJE, Melissa, Nina, Karen, and Elise. Amazing, amazing team to make six people, actually, and two librarians, to get accomplish what we accomplished in that office is just amazing. And so I am tremendously indebted to all of you for all your hard work and your dedication and commitment. Thank you. About a month ago, 150 members of our community visited Israel on the big one, our community mission. Unbelievable. As we made our way through Yad Vashem, Israel's National Holocaust Authority, we reached the last room of the museum where we found this photo on the wall. This photo was taken on the holiday of Shavuot in May 1945. Here you see the Army chaplain, Rabbi Herschel Schechter, those of you who know Rabbi Herschel Schechter, leading services for the survivors and the liberators. On the very front row, sitting between two American soldiers, is a little child in a makeshift army uniform right there. That little child, only known at the time as Lulik, was to become an important player on the world stage. Even this morning, meeting privately with President George W. Bush here in Dallas, for what began to be a 30-minute session that rolled into almost an hour and a half session. But the story doesn't begin there. On April 22nd, 1945, troops of General Patton's Third Army liberated the Buchenwald concentration camp. There, a tall African-American soldier found this 8-year-old child, and in front of a gathering of SS officers and Nazi camp guards, he picked this Lulik up and he held him high over his head for them all to see. And he said, "For this, you have murdered millions of people. For this, you have brought about the destruction of Europe." When the soldier returned home after the war, he never forgot Lulik. And whenever his family came together for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, he would tell the story of Lulik. And years passed. And as the old soldier's days drew to a close, he called his son to his bedside and he said, "Lou, that little boy grew up to be an important rabbi in Israel. And I want you to promise me that you're going to find him and you're going to get a blessing for you and for our family." And his son dutifully promised him that he would do so. And so it was that the man's son, Lou, traveled to Israel to receive his blessing from Rabbi Lau. The son's full name was Lou Alcindor, also known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And together with Rabbi Lau, they established a special foundation to benefit Ethiopian children in Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen, and you'll note also that it's in Hebrew with English subtitles. Don't let that scare you. Rabbi Lau's English is as eloquent as his Hebrew. Please watch the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the Chief Rabbi, Israel Meir Lau.